So did you say you wanted me there?
Yeah, if that's okay.
Show him on that. Oh, that's right.
Is that alright?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, shall I just start?
Yes.
Snapshots. High on the cliff I stand and scan. The turquoise and navy ocean breathes gently, but is empty. They're not there. Only once I saw them, mother and baby, matched parabolas arcing purposefully across the bay. Dolphins, graceful, splashless, disappearing over the horizon. Every time I walk this way, I watch for them. Next time, maybe, I'll see them again. I lean on the hot, white wall. The sun burns my face as I look up. The high window with the white curtain blowing is open again. I close my eyes and wait. But they don't come. The clean notes I heard once, dropping through the dense air like crystals. Chopin, played surely, each note certain. Every time I walk this way, I listen. Next time, maybe I'll hear that piano again. Running into the shed, I stand and wait. I see the racks of tools, greased and gleaming. The vise is empty. The circular saw still. There is no smell of cut wood. An unfinished table gathers dust waiting for varnish. You're not there to let me watch you work, to let me catch the cut timber as it falls from the saw, to let me hold the hammer and see you turn, smiling, saying, I need that now, thanks. Every time I walk this way, I wait for you. Next time it will be the same. It will always be the same. Oh, my dad loved to make things. He didn't read much except the paper, but he loved to make things, and I was always there to help him. To, in this case, to hold his hammer. But sometimes I used to make concrete with him, or build a dry stone wall, or, you know, if he needed big barrow loads of stuff in the garden, he would put a plank down the steps down to the garden, and I would barrow this stuff down to him in the wheelbarrow, heavy. But I like doing that.
You said yesterday that you were almost like his son.
Yes, that's right, because my sister was very much my mum's girl.
Yeah.
And I used to go to rugby with my dad and things like that.
Yeah.
That a son would normally do.
What, did he play rugby or?
Oh no, we used to watch. It was murder matches, because you know you were never jammed together. There were always plenty of room. Rugby league it was,
right.
Not rugby union. Your dad played rugby union. But my dad thought that was for posh people.
Oh, really?
So perhaps your dad is posh. But we used to sit on the back row, and if the ball was coming down towards the touchline, he would slide down the back row bench. It wasn't seats, it was a bench. He'd slide down it and crash into me. And so I learned to jam him against a pillar, and I'd sit the other side of the pillar, and then he couldn't do it. Once he was sliding down so fast that he fell off the bench and rolled down right to the front, and he lay across this bloke's lap, and the bloke said to him, "Hey lad, I wish they'd given it to thee. Thou would have scored, I'm sure."
Was he cheeky like you then?
He was very charming, my dad. People liked him. You know, he was funny and chatty.
Yeah. Oh. What was your mum doing while you were in the shed with your dad?
Well, she was in the kitchen doing something, or she used to do beautiful sewing. You've seen that sewing that she did, haven't you?
Yeah.
Her hardanger work. And she used to sit and do that but then being a housewife was hard work, you know, and people were praised if you were a good housewife, you know,
right,
people admired you if your house was clean and spotless and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it isn't so much so now.
Right,
really.
yeah.
You know, it's just taken for granted that the machinery will do it your washing machines and
Yeah.
your fridges and all that.
It's not as human.
Yes. Are you ready? Is the sound level all right?
Yeah. Well,
So this is a poem I wrote for my children and my grandchildren, and nobody else has ever heard it just then. In a tall, tall house lived a small, small mouse, and a black, black cat, and a witch with a house that was tall as the house and as black as the cat, and the witch had a broomstick and a magic guitar that would play by itself. When the witch sang tra-la, nobody needed to touch a string. It would play by itself if the witch would sing. A goblin lived on a nearby star, and he tried all ways to get that guitar. He said to the witch, "I'll give you a spoon on which you can ride 3 times round the moon. A magic spoon, or a carpet of gold." "A carpet of gold," said the witch. "How cold! Nothing, goblin, near or far, will make me part from my magic guitar." One day the witch left her tall, tall house in charge of the cat and the small, small mouse. She flew on a broomstick far, far away. Her auntie had asked her for tea on that day. But can you guess what? She rushed off and forgot. She forgot to hide her magic guitar. And the goblin, sitting afar on his star, giggled and chuckled and cackled with glee. "I'll go down and I'll bring that guitar back for me." The cat tried to stop him with her sharp, sharp claws, and the mouse did her best with her tiny paws. But the goblin took the magic guitar and hid it away on his twinkling star. When the witch came back, she sobbed and sobbed. "Oh, what shall I do? I've been robbed, I've been robbed." The cat and the mouse told her what they'd seen, how they'd tried to stop the goblin who'd been. "What's that noise?" said the witch. "That horrible din." The cat said, "It's the goblin trying to sing." Then the witch laughed loudly, for the goblin found the guitar wouldn't play for his horrible sound. The witch grabbed her broomstick, to the goblin's star she flew. "Goblin," she said, "that guitar's no use to you. Give it back to me, and every day you can come to my house and hear it play." So the goblin gave her back her guitar, and every day he leaves his star, and the witch sings for him, tra-la-la, tra-la-la, and zing, zing, zing goes the magic guitar.
How young were you when you read that to us?
Well, from being very small, you know, we always read to you even before you could talk or anything. And so I probably recited it to you. I didn't read it. Because I've only just written it out for the first time. I probably recited it to you from being, you and your twin, from being a baby, really.
Yeah.
And when you asked for it, you know, there were other favourite books you had, like that one about the beach and other ones that I just used to read to you, but you used to ask for that.
Yeah.
And of course your mummy used to love it, she used to ask for it as well.
Oh really? Did you read it to Mum too?
Oh, I wrote it for your mum and your Uncle Dan when they were little.
Aww.
Well, I didn't write it so much as, I suppose I must have written it down to start with,
Yeah.
but I just knew it, you know, so from then on. This is what it was like. We used to go and skate up on the reservoirs on the tops, because they used to freeze more quickly than other things do. We also used to go to Lister Park in Bradford, where my auntie had the cafe, but that was more lots of people. On the reservoirs there was usually only me and my dad, and sometimes my sister. Saturday morning. Overnight, the frost has strangled the world to stillness, to silence. Blackly white, the trees' silhouette patterns stark against the greying sky. Over the gate, the field stretches whitely, the grass stiff, stock still and silent, the sheep huddle under the hedge. where spider webs glitter with diamonds. In the lane, the puddles, opaquely black, crunch satisfyingly into white splinters. The pond has a leathery skin where mystified ducks slither. Clumsily, I pull on my skates and step out, juddering, until I reach smooth ice. Then I strike out, pick up speed, glide, streak, a comet swooping through freezing air. Joyfully I stretch my arms wide and embrace freedom.
That's sweet. I remember you telling me you were ice skating.
Yes. I think I've taken you to the reservoir that we used to skate on. It
Oh,
was
really?
called Cuppeth.
Oh!
On the way to Aunt Sarah's.
Yeah, you have.
You know, and but of course it wasn't frozen then. It was
Yeah.
probably summer or spring or something, but it wasn't winter.
Yeah.
That road is very dangerous in winter, and I wouldn't really drive it myself.
No, yeah. I was always... Did your dad skate? Would
Oh
he?
yes,
Yeah.
and he wouldn't buy us skates at first because he said we'd just grow out of them before it was winter next year.
Oh, right, yeah.
And so, but he went to an auction once, and they had skates that had belonged to somebody else in this auction, and they were going cheap, I suppose. And so he brought them for me,
Aw.
and I wore them till I was about 16 or 17, even though they were about 3 sizes too small. I would sort of stick my feet in them, and because it was great. And if we ever went to Lister Park, we didn't have skates then,
Yeah.
but we had a really good sledge that my dad had made, and it
Yeah.
was very fast on the ice. And, you know, when we'd only been there 10 minutes, we were in somebody's skates, you know, some rich people who had white boots and things, and we were in their skates. And my dad was chatting up their mother and giving the children whose skates we'd nicked off with rides on the sledge.
Oh, that was fun. It seems like you had, like... It almost, like, feels like there was more community.
Yes, I suppose so, in those days.
Yeah.
Yes. She had lots of businesses. She had a cafe in Bingley where your great Granny Ruth and Jim lived.
Yeah.
And she once had a pork pie factory. And she once had a shop on Manningham Lane that sold blouses and petticoats and ladies' underwear, and she
Oh.
used to make those.
Oh, cool.
And we used to play in the cellar with the boxes that things were sort of stored in, the gloves that she had and that she used to embroider,
Yeah.
and loads and loads of bobbins of cotton we used to be able to build things with.
Were those women, were they, the picture you showed me of the...
Yes.
And they were gay, though?
Oh, well, we never knew that.
Or just in
you know,
secret, yeah.
I mean, nobody ever talked about it in those
No,
days. But they were partners and they loved each other. I didn't know what it was for Auntie Jenny. I thought they just lived together, you know.
Yeah.
It didn't. When you're a child, you don't think of these things, do you?
No.
But when Auntie Ivy died, my Auntie Jenny's face just crumpled up like brown paper. And I thought, oh, God, you know, it was more than just somebody to share a house with.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is when I was married and had the children. We choose to walk the short distance to the canal. Who is this we? We choose is a lie. I choose, and they tag along, chattering. It's hot, and the work day, school day heat has been never ending. We sit on the canal bank and dangle our legs in the water. The canal is opaquely green, its surface sun-ruffled. The swan surges across it, hissing, his wings raised like a galleon. His pen sleeps serenely, half hidden by reeds. The children scream, pulling their legs out of the water. No one notices the bus rumbling under the aqueduct. We replace our feet. The children laugh and splash each other, their happiness rising through softened air like multicoloured bubbles. Over time, our toes grow wrinkled. The sun shines more weakly, and thoughts of tea-time pancakes, lemon sugary, draw us home. But now, over the darkening water, the hunting bats spurt, and I realise that I am cold. The scene fades to a black and white print and disappears. Turning, I trudge along the track, time lengthening its shadows, and no way back.
Was that Mum and
That was Mum and Uncle Dan, yeah. And, you know, they were very happy together, like you and Jacob. They loved each other a lot, you know. And it was nice for me to come home from work and spend time with them. Yeah.
What did you like hang out as a household? Were you always around each other?
They played out a lot. Children did in those days.
Yeah.
But I didn't always know what they were doing.
No.
But they used to chat to me. And when your mum had trouble with a bullying boy down the road, I shoved him into the hedge and told him he had to behave himself.
I remember Mum telling me. Oh, it's so funny. It's like in our house, in our family, there's like generations, like me and you, that just do whatever, and do what we think and what have you, and then the embarrassed people that follow, like Mum and Jacob.
So that one's called Barsbank Lane, B-A-R-S, then bank, and then lane. That's where we lived.
Yeah.
And the canal went across the middle of the road. And so I'll do Dean Clough now. This I wrote, not long before I think it was after I made this book actually. It was one of the last things that I wrote before the book was published. Dean Clough. Scarlet berries, crimson leaves, roots clutch the peat, claws washed clean by the clattering stream, branches awry sweep the flying sky, rowan red rejoicing. And I, like the rowan, tenacious and bold, though my bones grow old, I struggle up here one more year, cheeks rowan red, rejoicing. I don't know if I ever took you there.
Where is that?
To Dean Clough. It's in Derbyshire, and you go up from you walk up from Hayfield by the river, and then there's the reservoir, and then you go up the hill to Kinder Scout. It's good. I can remember once taking a class of mine from Partington there, and they'd never been anywhere like that before, with the moors and the sky and the wind and the stream to play in. And they'd never dammed a stream with bricks. They didn't know till I showed them what fun it was. And I tried to tell them that this is yours, you know, nobody can take it away from you. It's free to come here. It's yours.
How long were you teaching for?
Oh, quite a long time, really. I finished when I was 62.
Yeah.
But I went into management before I retired.
Right.
Shall I do the refuge now about the swing?
Yes. Wait, hang on, what was this one called?
Barsbank Lane? No. Oh, that's called Dean Clough. D-E-A-N. Capital C-L-O-U-G-H. And it's the name of the stream, you know, the stream's way down there and you're climbing up and up and up and up. Like that. And there's just this one rowan tree with its roots all by the stream, and they've all washed them clean, you know. This is called the refuge. I am 7. I trek down the steps and over the lawn, past tidy rows of leeks and cabbages to the swing. I turn, one hand on each rope, and pull myself up to perch on the wooden seat. I stretch my legs up and down, I sway, I pick up the rhythm, and I'm up high, high enough to see over the wall into the wood where the horse chestnut's candles glow and the bluebells paint their miraculous azure. I am free to think my own thoughts, to be what I want to be. I'm 17. In 2 minutes, I run down the garden to the swing. I sit on the wooden seat and swiftly the rhythm takes me up high, high enough to see over the wall to the wood, where once I lay under the horse chestnut's glow and kissed Johnny among the bright bluebells. It felt so lovely, but turned out to be so ugly. The rhythm of the swing comforted me. I am still me. I can still be what I want to be. I am 70. I limp down the path and over the long wet grass, past brambles and nettles and creeping buttercup, to where elder and hawthorn hide the swing. I pull on the ropes and sway. Eventually I establish the old rhythm, and it takes me up high, high enough to see over the wall to the wood, where the horse chestnut's candles still glow and the bluebells sweeten into haze, and my life shimmers with distance. Am I still me? Can I still be what I want to be? It's called The Refuge.
It's very sweet. Yeah.
I like the way it was in, went through my life in stages, Good illustration there as well.
Oh, that is pretty.
Yeah. She was your teacher once. What's her name? Janet Grimes.
Oh, yeah.
She did that.
Oh, that's really sweet.
And her husband Colin did some of the other ones.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't realise.
Yeah.
Oh. And that was at your house when you were younger?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Was it your first house? Or?
No, our first house was a back-to-back house. They don't really have them now. But we had the front, and there was a family in the back and an old lady underneath.
Yeah.
An old man underneath. And the toilet was down the yard, and we used to have to go through the passage and down it wasn't really a garden, it was just flags really, down to the outside toilet, down there, and we shared it with all the people who lived in our half of the block. Yeah. And we had one room downstairs with the kitchen was like a sink and a cooker behind doors. You pulled the doors open, and then there was the living room, and if you wanted a bath you had to bring it, my dad had to bring it from downstairs in the cellar. It was a sort of tin bath that used to hang on the wall in the cellar.
I can imagine that being so annoying.
Well, you didn't know any different,
Well,
that was how it was.
No, I mean for your dad. Carrying a bath around.
I just had to bring it. No, it was just part of life then, You were glad to have a house.
Yeah.
And it was rented house.
Oh, right.
So they were saving up to buy a house of our own. And when we did, that was the one with the swing, with the steps down and the long garden and went into the wood. Yeah. So shall I read that one about your granddad Kemp and me?
Yes. Wait, what was this one called again?
The Refuge.
I'm running out of space. Okay, I'm going to stop it and start it again.